When you look all over media coverage on NASCAR drivers, they usually look at drivers who are either top tier, popular, or the lower end drivers whose careers are bad enough that you can highlight. Well, there's plenty of great stories with those large swath of drivers, but the ones in between them also have stories. And one that's quite peculiar is the career of Jamie McMurray. McMurray started out in NASCAR in the late 90s and early 2000s, and really his career moving up through the ranks was pretty normal for a driver at that time. Some races in the Truck Series, a few seasons in the Busch Series, and then hopefully you get to Cup. 2002 saw McMurray get 2 wins and become a top 5 to top 10 driver in the Busch Series. Like I said, looked like business as usual. But in Cup, championship contender Sterling Marlin's season was gonna come to a crushing end at Kansas. He hit the wall at Kansas and ended up fracturing vertebrae in his neck. With Marlin unable to perform, a replacement for the Silver Bullet was needed. This is where Chip Ganassi stepped in and put young McMurray into action, at Talladega no less. Suffice to say, the debut was mediocre. What wasn't mediocre was the next week at Charlotte.
We had to pit with, I think, like 25 or 30 laps to go. And when we came out of the pits, I was ahead of him and pretty close, and I drove away a little bit, and then he started to catch me back at the end.
Will McMurray make one mistake in traffic that costs him the race? Can the 2000 champion pounce and take advantage?
For some reason, I thought I won by like a straightaway, and when I saw the highlight reel, he was only about 3 car lengths behind me. So my memories made me a lot faster than what the reality of it was.
He rides into the corner deep.
Come on.
He'll do it. 26-year-old Jamie McMurray pulls off the victory in just his second Cup start. Unbelievable.
You did me a favor, bud. Do the biggest damn burnout you've ever done.
The upset special of the year.
I mean, that was a really big night for me. I will never forget it. And the victory lane and the photos, that's really good stuff for me.
Yeah. In just his second start, he went out and beat Bobby Labonte at one of its best tracks. Immediately, Jamie Mack was put on the map. And that's where Ganassi would make the decision to vault him up to full-time Cup racing in 2003 and to run for Rookie of the Year. At first, his rookie season was a struggle. This is normal for most rookies, but what started to set him apart was his real improvement through the season. At the end of the season at Homestead, he even sat on the pole. His 9th place finish, closing out a particularly stellar last third of the season for his rookie campaign. He'd score 8 top 10s in 13 races to end the season and finished 13th in points. In that span, he also got to 13th from 23rd in points. So 2004 was looking to be his breakout season. And it both was and it wasn't. From the get-go, he was inconsistent, but still fast. He still was a top 10 driver for much of the year. As is with being inconsistent, though, a spot in the top 10 was not guaranteed. He'd miss the inaugural chase by 15 points. Where the breakout part would happen was when he was really good, during and around the chase. From Indianapolis through the end of the season, he scored 13 top 10s in 16 races. Had he made the chase, he would have competed for the championship and finished probably 4th in points. He'd beat guys like Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Tony Stewart. 9 top 5s and 21 top 10s still is a great season, even if the cutoff didn't allow it to go to its full fruition. In 2005, he had performance pullback, having half of both numbers. But from 2003 to 2005, he finished 13th, 11th, and 12th in the points in Ganassi equipment that otherwise ran sub-20th. It was time to move on. So when it was announced that McMurray was going to be going to Roush Racing in 2006, it looked like his big break. After all, this is the same Roush team that put 5 teams in the 10-man chase in 2005. The expectations were high, and from there, he fell flat on his face and had his worst season yet. Sure, he competed for a win at Dover, but that should happen at Roush. You should compete for wins. While he did okay to start 2007, it seemed to be a bit more of the same, just on a slightly better level. Then, Daytona rolled around.
The inside line is the line if you can maintain it coming out of turn 4.
Will Edwards, man, I'll tell you what. Will Edwards help his teammate, or will he make a move for the win? I don't know if he'll be able to make the move for the win.
Kyle Busch is the guy right here. He's your winner.
He's going to have the momentum, and he's going to get to the line. Coming to the checkers. Oh, whoa! That was close. I don't know.
After nearly 5 years, he was back in victory lane. He still missed the 12-man chase, though, and he did the same in 2008, minus the win. So heading into 2009, the writing was on the wall for McMurray at Roush. NASCAR had put a rule in place that there could be no more than 4 full-time teams in Cup for any organization. NASCAR allowed Roush to fulfill its contracts through 2009 with McMurray's team, but after that, he was out. And it was easy to see that he was going to be the lame duck this season. Going into the 4th to last race of the season at Talladega, he had 4 top 10s in 32 races and sat 22nd in points. Once again, he came through at a plate track, though.
And Jamie McMurray would be the winner here at Talladega. Now they will have to go back, NASCAR has to go back and look at the video. They did not use scoring loops on the final lap. They go back and look at the actual video. But McMurray at the age of 33 gets his first win in 85 races.
We're going to make it.
So the first Ford win here in 21 races. The last Ford to win here, Dale Jarrett, in October of 2005. But now it is Jamie McMurray in victory lane.
With the close of the 2009 season, McMurray was at a career crossroads. With this, he made the final change in that career. He went back to Ganassi. This led to his 2010 season, the most noticeable season of his career.
Jamie McMurray is in front to try to win the 500. This will be the last lap.
Whatever happens now happens, folks. They can all wad up down here, and somebody's going to leave out that second turn a winner.
Junior on the bottom with Boyer. Biffle ahead.
Truex trying to get up there and help McMurray, but Boyer's right there behind Biffle in the 16. Look, there goes Boyer to the outside.
Look at Junior. Come on, Junior. Come on.
Can they make it to the flag?
Nah, no way. They'll never get through this third turn.
Junior got squirreled up right there.
No, it's just perfect. He's flying through there.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. unbelievably has caught Jamie McMurray as they come to turn 4.
He'll have to go to the high side, though. McMurray will guard that line.
Crash at the back, never mind. Green flag still out. Checkered flag in the air. The 52nd Daytona 500 to Jamie McMurray.
Yes! Little Jamie, baby. Woo!
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yes, sir. Billy Bass.
How about that? Jamie McMurray, Teresa Earnhardt, Chip Ganassi, Felix Sabates winning the Daytona 500.
And don't forget Bono.
Oh, my God!
The cars that crashed.
That was so awesome.
In the North Chute, Chip Ganassi. He knows he's this close to making history.
Yeah, he can start smiling now. You see it right there. You can see him come off the corner.
Yeah!
Jamie McMurray is going to win Daytona and the Brickyard 400 in the same year. What a job by this one team.
And you are clear. Congratulations, Stooge.
You know, you'd think that having 3 wins in a season would be enough to, at the very least, be Chase caliber, right? Well, nope, he wasn't. He still finished 14th in the points, but still, once again, there were high hopes for McMurray's career. But much like the rest of his erratic Roush days, the second stint at Ganassi was just as unpredictable. His next 2 seasons were in the sub-20s and were disastrous, his worst ever. But much like the rest of his career, he just kept fighting. In 2013, he had risen his performance back up to the top 20. And in many ways, the years from 2013 to 2017 were the most notable of his career when it comes to overall performance.
Jamie McMurray, such a likable guy. That big smile on his face, even in tough times. And now the 37-year-old is going to go to victory lane at Talladega for the second time after making all the moves on the chessboard at 200 miles an hour just right.
Harvick backs off to a respectful distance.
McMurray is going to clear the 99 to Carl Edwards, and he is out of here.
0.8 of a second.
about 160 feet. It might as well be 160 miles. Jamie McMurray wins the Sprint All-Star race.
After this, he would never win in NASCAR again, or at least not yet. But in 2015, he did finally break into the playoffs, only to be narrowly edged out in the first round by Dale Jr. at Dover, and he finished 13th in points yet again. In 2016, he again made the postseason and again was doomed for a first-round elimination, this time after having an expired engine at Dover. 2017 was really the only and last competitive season he had both at Ganassi, but also the last competitive season of his career. He scored only 3 top 5s, but also had 17 top 10s. For much of the season, he was actually a top 10 driver, peaking as high as 5th in points at the regular season's halfway point. He even made it past the first round of the playoffs for the first time, and looked to contend for the title actually, after finishing 5th at Charlotte. Crashes at Talladega and Kansas though, and had any thoughts of that. Finishing 11th in points, this was the closest that he would ever come to a Cup championship. After a significant performance pullback in 2018, McMurray called it quits on full-time racing. Now, he sporadically comes to superspeedway races. For a driver with as many wins as he's had in his career, he was oddly timid with his success. He never finished in the top 10 in points. He only scored top 10s in half of the season once, never scored more than 10 top 5s, and had one of the longest winless streaks in NASCAR history between his first and second Cup victories. He had a career that really has no equal in any sense of the imagination. His career truly was an enigma. You could never get a gauge on how good he was, only a range. So with that, I want to ask you for this answer. How good was Jamie McMurray's career? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. And until next time, have a good one.